Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. The Hardy Boyz have officially returned to WWE, but more specifically, they returned to WWE NXT because there's a partnership between TNA and WWE, and that partnership focuses on TNA and WWE NXT, and they made their return to the WWE NXT brand. But the rumor is, which I'm very, very excited about, and I know a lot of fans are also excited about, is that in the summertime, there's plans to return the Hardy Boyz to the main roster for potentially one last run. Now, if you can remember, WrestleMania 33, I believe, they made their return in one of the greatest and best returns in WrestleMania history to an absolutely massive pop. So they still have the attention, the admiration, and the love of the fans, as you see in TNA and you saw on the NXT brand. So I would absolutely love a Hardy Boyz main roster run. There's some, tension, and they went to AEW, and now they're in TNA, and apparently there was some tension between Jeff and Matt and WWE and all of that stuff, but whatever. I think what Triple H is really good at is sort of squashing that beef, making sure everyone is on the same page, and then bringing back the people that deserve to be in WWE, to have one last run so the fans can really enjoy that. And the fans absolutely love the Hardy Boyz. More specifically, Jeff, he's one of the most over baby faces of all time. So a main roster run this summer would be awesome. And my pick to who they would have a story with, a feud with. Now, drop your comments below who you think the Hardy Boyz should wrestle when they return to WWE main roster in the summertime. But I think what would be amazing would be the New Day, the heel version of the New Day, which is absolutely crushing it right now, versus the return of the Hardy Boyz in just a long feud, two of the greatest tag teams of this generation, two of the greatest tag teams of really all time. And so you have the New Day, the heel version of the New Day, versus the over baby faces of Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boyz, just going at it all summer, really elevating that tag team of division once again. And then they battle it out, maybe for the titles, maybe not, maybe just for a title of, greatest tag team of all time. Maybe it's just a competitive type feud where the New Day is fucking pissed that the Hardy Boyz are back. More people are taking the spotlight away from them. They're the best tag team of all time. Whatever storyline you want to sort of play out, or you have the New Day win the tag straps, the Hardy Boyz return, challenge them for the titles, and they go on a long feud, maybe culminating potentially at SummerSlam or whatever it is. But it's awesome. It seems awesome. Pump, the Hardy Boyz are back. Pump, the relationships are being mended, and really excited where the partnership between TNA and really the WWE NXT brand goes as they continue to branch out. And so hopefully, maybe we'll see Joe Hendry versus John Cena at some point down the line, once John Cena, is really in the midst of his farewell tour and he's here every single week with WWE, gunning and going and really, dominating this like farewell retirement tour. Because right now we haven't really seen him. We've only seen him twice. We've seen John Cena at the opening brand new episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and we saw him at the Royal Rumble. Now we're going to see him Saturday at the Chamber, which I think he'll win the Chamber, but then I think after that, he's going to be on a consistent basis, so maybe he pops over to TNA. Maybe Joe Hendry pops over to Raw, and we see this thing happen, which would be pretty cool that Joe Hendry's trying to make it happen. So kudos to that, and we'll see. But anyways, this was about the Hardy Boyz. So the Hardy Boyz are returning. We'll see a main roster run from them in the summer, and I hope it's against the New Day. New Day. But moving on to wrestling promotions, it's rumored that Vince McMahon is trying to start a new wrestling promotion. It was rumored that he went to Fox to try and start this promotion and that they sort of already had a deal, but Fox turned down these rumors, denied these rumors. They're not true at all. It is true, according to Eric Bischoff, that Vince McMahon is trying to start a new wrestling promotion. And all I have to say about this is, for the love of God, please, Vince, just stay home. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop trying to come up with a new wrestling company or a new promotion since you got canned from WWE and TKO in January of 2024 for doing horrible things. Just like, that's enough. It's enough. Your wrestling promoter running shit days needs to end. And just come to terms with that. Go home in your house and just be. Just exist as a person in the world. You don't need another wrestling company. There doesn't need to be another wrestling company. We have enough wrestling companies with WWE and AEW and TNA and ROH and New Japan and all of these places. They're good enough as they are. We don't need Vince McMahon anymore. Stay home, relax, rest, do something. Maybe Triple H lets you hang out with his kids so you have some grandkids to nurture and potentially love. Like, do something else. For the love of God, please do not start another wrestling promotion. So I hope he gets denied by every network there is, and we just do not see another version of a Vince McMahon wrestling promotion. Now, speaking of corporate, what a segue here. My God, am I crushing it today? What a segue. I think we're not thinking about corporate Randy Orton enough. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot, about Cody Rhodes. If he's going to sell his soul to The Rock, I don't think he will. We'll see that happen on Saturday, that exchange. And I think that happens in the middle of the show. I think that happens in the middle of the show where Cody Rhodes and The Rock come out at the Elimination Chamber, and Cody Rhodes turns down The Rock's offer to sell his soul to become the corporate champion. He remains pure. He remains the people's actual champion. So what happens next? Well, Randy Orton has been rumored to return for a while, and he's probably just sitting at home, seeing what's happening, understanding how he can fit into this mold. Now, it's thought that he was going to maybe go after Kevin Owens for what he did to him, he gave him a pile driver, and that's why he's been out, because he's been recovering from his neck injury. But now we have this thing with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So then maybe while Randy Orton has been sitting at home for so long, he's starting to think that Kevin Owens was maybe right about Cody Rhodes, was maybe right about this whole thing. And so now he's on his side. And so now after Cody Rhodes turns down The Rock, maybe Randy Orton goes to him backstage or is talking to him on the phone now saying, hey, Cody Rhodes turns you down. I can be your guy. I can be the corporate champion. Of course, Randy Orton and The Rock know each other. They've been in the business together, long time. And so maybe Randy Orton's waiting at home to see his moment. So that happens in the middle of the show. Now you still have the Elimination Chamber happening, and one person could get booted out of those pods. If he is really the corporate guy of The Rock, he could throw Logan Paul out. He could throw Damian Priest out. He could throw Drew McIntyre out. Now I hope it's not Drew McIntyre. Potentially you could throw Logan Paul or Damian Priest out. Or what happens is, as Seth Rollins is making his entrance, Roman Reigns attacks him. They brawl around. He doesn't even make it into the pod. That sets up this no-holds-barred, last man standing, steel cage match, whatever, at WrestleMania between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. So who enters the pod there? Potentially now it's Randy Orton enters the pod. He's already made an agreement that we haven't seen yet. In time. He makes an agreement with The Rock. He's already the corporate champion. We don't know that. We just see that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns now are fighting, and Seth Rollins can't make it into the pod. So The Rock comes out, puts Randy Orton into the pod. So now we have this even more star-studded Elimination Chamber. Now Randy Orton wins that Elimination Chamber. And then we get a Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton feud that they've been teasing over and over and over again. And now I think that's big money also, something we're not thinking about. I think that's less likely to happen than you actually see the feud between John Cena and CM Punk. Not for the title, but it's still going to main event probably one of the nights, maybe. And then you have Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, night 2 to main event that show, as Randy is the corporate champion now. Now I'm just tossing out ideas, thinking about what might happen. Drew McIntyre is also potentially an option for the corporate champion. I think it would be amazing to see Drew McIntyre as the corporate champion. My top option is always going to be CM Punk, but I think not as many people are thinking about Randy Orton, and they should, because he's just waiting at home, sitting, thinking about things. Okay, what can I do to get myself back into the picture? I can be corporate champion. He's already done that before. It's not unlikely, and he wants to dethrone Cody Rhodes because they're going to clash at some point, and it'll be better to clash if really Randy Orton was the champion and Cody Rhodes was on his tail chasing him. I think that's a great story as well. And then maybe that leads to a WrestleMania 42 main event where Cody finally gets his championship back, potentially. And then the third option for corporate champion is Drew McIntyre. Now, I think it's going to be CM Punk, and I think it's going to play out on Saturday at the Elimination Chamber. I do think Roman Reigns is going to return, and there's going to be some sort of altercation with Seth Rollins that potentially costs him that spot. And then John Cena is going to win. It's going to fucking absolutely piss off CM Punk, and then we're going to go from there. And so I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing night, but there are a few options that we're looking at here that could potentially materialize as we head into WrestleMania 41. So let me know what you think. What are your predictions? What are you leaning towards in terms of corporate champion, in terms of The Rock and Cody Rhodes and all these types of things? What do you want to see happen? And let me know in the comments below. And then please subscribe, like this video, all that good stuff. Share this channel with every single wrestling fan that you know. And I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.